Linjani Maposo amahle, welcome to a brand new season, 2024 season. Linjani thina siwise elimangela abantu sebethulethe izwi. We are back guys and we are back with a bang and looking ahambe ngedwa looking ahamba lentombi ebomvu yakumajikijelo Maposa to my left. Linjani Maposa?
Ngiyaphila duko njani?
Hayi mina ngisharp, excited for this coming season.
Hayi lami ngijabule nje, I can't wait for it to kickstart yakwazi.
So on this brand new episode guys, siphathele fitness trainer Abrahamba. You are okhangele helping yama players to my five left njani Abrahamba you.
Yebo, hello. Salibona njani? Hello everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, siyabonga Abrahamba for joining us today. In this episode we'll be looking at last season, how kuyaphela njani and what intake last season and sikhangele futhi ama fixtures for this coming season 2024 season Majikjela.
Alright, bokuqala I think isiqale sikhumbuza abalaleli bethu ukuthi season siqala mhla ka 9 March. Yes. And then sasekhona lapha I think mina into enginanzeleleyo ukuthi ama fixtures ethi mayiqalisa silama game ayi3 esiwadlalela eBF. 2 home and then 1 away.
So I think gonna lama fixtures etango 3 so aqala BF. I think it's an advantage to us. Bona njani Majikjela?
Yeah, I think it's an advantage because even the game is 4 elandelayo eto1, it's an away game but then it's equal and then the fifth one futhi is kwaba kobulawayo futhi
okay, so it's 5 then.
Yeah, 5 kahle and yazi you know I know igame yokuqala wesizini bayilindele igame eDynamos like especially because of last season sadlala njani because antlapha si home.
Yes,
and you know ukuthi home game agcina si cancel last season and I know abantu abaningi they eager to watch the game, so amasiqale sizicela umbono kaAbrela futhi ukuthi
fitness trainer.
Okay, I would like to differ with you. Ngiphikise kancane ngithi when you say our advantages we're going to play our home games at maybe the first 3 games, ngizathanda ukuliphikisa kancane because you know ubunzima obukhona when you play at home. There's always so much pressure, there are so many things that come into play. Izinto zakhona eziphambanisa ama players, so maze ukhangele lapha ngama game anzima lawo. Besingathanda ukuthi sidlala away sibili, you know the team performs better away from its supporters where there is less pressure, but when it's at home it's always a bit of a challenge, but we're looking forward to the games and we hope for a better challenge and a better start.
But then sorry Abrela, do you think ukuthi wena kuba le pressure kakhulu nxa se BF compared to masi like sidlala away, because nxa li home ground, I mean even if it's a normal away game uyakwazi ukuthi lile support yabantu, yabona abantu behlabela kuma terraces ukukela ukugijima belandela istadium laphana, you know kokhana ukuthi ukuthi isupport ulayo ngikhaya yebo. Don't you think ukuthi gives you nje a will drive or something?
Yeah, it is that drive, you know. At times that support it turns out ikwenza ikukhumeze kakhulu, igcina kungena kakhulu to such an extent that you tend to make those the basic mistakes. Ukhothi into ezincane as players you tend to make ama mistakes lawana amaningi because we've been knowing which so many people are watching, bebambukele bafuna ukuthi ngenze njani. So that's the pressure that comes with playing at home. No matter the support, but there's always too much pressure and you are prone to make mistakes. It's better than away. When you are playing away with less members, with less people watching, you'll be free to play and free to perform. So with our boys, I think it's into a mental and they need to be able to balance the two, so that they adjust to the pressure and get used to that.
So Abraham, you couldn't get pressure. So I think konoko maybe as a technical because ngena khona ukuthi litshela abafana ukuthi how to handle pressure at home, especially game eDynamos nale ngijoke ukuthi pressure like ama fans. It's up to you technical say and teach the boys ukuthi how to handle pressure at home.
Because vele nje game eDynamos abantu abanenyakwazi bayikhangelela. I mean it's biggest game of the season 1-2 and then also last season game yankonto yayicela engasaphelelanga uyabona.
So I think ama wins on from that season.
Abantu vele game na people are going to come in their numbers. It might be the first game of the season but abantu bazabe ngobuningi ngawo bezoyibukela vele game le. So yabona pressure or no pressure, I know people out there they expect the team ukuthi njani, you know, to show up yabona kahle.
Yeah, definitely it is our duty to make sure these boys are prepared well and we've been doing so. We're working hard towards that. Of course we've got new players that have come in, we've got new players that came in last year. I'm sure those who came in last year and those who have been there before, they've bonded with the pressure, they know now the expectations of the team. now we're trying to build and make these new ones ababuye khathesi ukuthi sibayenze babe ngcono labo babe lezibindi babe wazi to expect ukuthi Highlanders is not a small team, it's a big team with high expectations. Every game we play to win, so we have got passionate supporters who are eager to get the results, so it's their turn. So we have been working hard, we have prepared them, we are preparing, and we'll keep singing the same song just to let them know what
Asilavalo. Yes. Speaking of which, I mean, before we move on to Game Chiefs, you know, like I've seen people, angazi it's panic or what, but then people just think ukuthi game lay Dynamos is abanzima, you know, because given ukuthi coach is coached before, but then my argument always is that, I mean, is quite changile since the last time that Kayendu coached Highlanders, and the Dynamos like changile. I mean, balo coach omucha. We won't really say much about challenge Cup weekend, but anyways, I'm sure like it's thinking that drive you would want. I mean, 2-0. You know, it's gets motivated team, but then I feel like works in Zagala back then and what's happening now.
It's a new era.
Yes, exactly, new era. And then Blue Chiefs. Abasela squad bona though. I Chiefs donate. I donate shame. I donate Chiefs. I donate ku league shame. Abasela squad but bona basidelela manje.
But I won't say ukuthi ba donate and they put in abafana abancane, and if you check Frank esayidlalayo esabena khona 2-1 in the first game lana esadlala khona, they really played well. You won't say ukuthi it's so a new team, like they're jailed, they are there.
They're still there.
They're still there, like I'm a coach, okay, corner. So I wouldn't say ukuthi sebephelile hayi bakhona, they're still there.
Yeah, let me come in there. Reflecting on the Dynamos game, I would say it can be the easiest and it can be the most difficult. Why I'm saying it can be the easiest is because when you look at the Dynamos game, all the players and everyone you are just motivated. It's self-motivation. You know it's a big game. You know it's one of the biggest games in our league. And this game is being watched maybe world over, and everyone will be wanting, eager to see how it goes. So as a player, you're just motivated. So it's all about going there and making less mistakes and doing intervals from the training to get the desired result. Then why it will be very difficult. Ama games that when you're looking at them, they might look easy on paper, but it's difficult. Why? You look at, I was saying, looking at the after the Dynamos game, we're going to play a local derby. After the Dynamos game again, you know, it's a big game, and Ama players, they will give it all for the Dynamos game. They will push hard, they will push extra hard to get the results. Okay. And despite the result, what you know is the effect is that Ama players now are having everything into that game. So going into a local derby again,
which is
another difficult game, yeah.
Because you know abantu bayazana and we are playing Blue Chiefs. When you look at Blue Chiefs, you can say it has lost some players and it has brought in new players. So it will be a difficult game because you know every game that Highlanders plays, it's a cup final. Everyone wants to beat Highlanders, and especially playing at Papa Cliff Stadium. So every player would want to impress. So we're expecting another very, very difficult game. Another very difficult game.
Sorry, I think you touched on in critical. You said my players are much. They've now gelled in, and I think it's all thanks to technical and the more senior players. Ukuthi befake mentality, ama new players or reason, or Marvin, or Akim Komo. Ukuthi going to this kind of Dynamos, Blue Chiefs. Like pressure, I think is due to credit cleaner, the senior players, ama new players. I would know, guys. This is Highlanders. This is Highlanders. The pressure is always there. It's either you're playing Yard or any team, but the pressure is always there. The expected result week in, week out.
Yeah, every player when they come into a system, even the coaches, even the technical, everyone now join the system. You get to be inducted. You get there. You know there are rules, there are expectations with the system we join. So everyone, if you look at the players about Willie, they know the expectations. It's not easy. Mthwalo ngona mkhulu, but because mthwalo lo asuwakho wedwa, it's shared. You are
as a team
sport, so
yeah.
They are assured of ukuthi they will be helping hand ungachibleka to the left, chibleka to the right.
To support you.
So
yeah.
these boys have tried to induct them. We've tried to bring them up to that level, but you know, it's now up to the boys to be stronger mentally, to be stronger, to have a big heart, to know that it's a dream come true. Everyone has got dreams. Playing for Islanders is something big, and playing in a game, in matches like this, in a derby, and also playing 2 consecutive games at Babafield Stadium, which you can say is the home of football. So it's a very big expectation to say these boys, they are coming in with bigger challenges, and also they've got their dreams. So we expect them to do well and to succeed, to give us a good game.
As maybe as to city yadan zenshalo zenshalo but I esafike the para I know yazi ukuthi ngizenshalo but ngicanga ukuthi ubhila ujoni yada but ngathi
abe ngadlali yedwa
but ayasazi I think emanandi boys this is now eqinile ngiyangutshela ngazi but yo asazi njalo I mean even khayile Simbabora batheki nama players
they really did yeah
I think it's another fixtures abinzima futhi layo because I mean and Simbabora last season layo later in the season
yeah
yes and labo futhi they proved hard to beat
yeah and they didn't beat the BF sadly draw then away it was a disappointing result ngafuna ukuyikama
yes so I'm just saying ukuthi I can just imagine kuyabe kuyi-season and this coming season and then we also have Tell One
yes, Wi-Fi boys
fourth fix of the season amabizo ayidlanayo ukuthi one islayo wapi
I didn't need much, but I think a player at Washington Avai is moved to Tell One. Yeah, so I think it's going to be an interesting fixture again at Guero. It's a really Guero, but I think it's going to be an interesting fixture here at Guero. I don't know if they will be playing at Bata or at Ascot. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no, it's fine. Interesting. And then it's Leche to Pirates. Any interesting Zaire? Yes. Any interesting names? Is it any Lena Icheko to or?
Yeah, well, when looking at Ama games here, I'd like to say this one, Cheko to Pirates, will be one of the most difficult. You know, you're going into the unknown, you're playing the unknown.
So who's I think I'm a Kanzima. Is it a technical thing? Kanzima,
like I'm saying,
yes,
they are difficult on paper, but when you get into the ground, it's something different. It's something different. You win according to how you've planned, but you know, playing Dynamos is an open game. Blair Chiefs, it will be a derby, it will be a crunch time, it will be pound for pound. Then we move to Simbabora. Simbabora have brought in a new squad. Basically, it's a new team.
Yes, it is.
So, comparing us and Simbabora, we have just made a few changes here and there, but we still have the same squad. So, for us, there is continuity, but for Simbabora, it's always like they are starting afresh. Yes. So, for them to combine, maybe to take them a few games also. Then you move to Tell One. Tell One, it's a team from Guero. It's a team that is coming from T1. Of course, they've got ambitious. They want to win. They want to beat Highlanders. They want to set the tone. But we know they can't start on us. And when you go to Guero, they always post good results in Guero.
Yes.
We have really struggled in Guero, so we expect a good game against them. It's only this one, the Cheko to Paris, that we are playing the unknown, you know. And I'm saying this, you know, when they play, maybe you have played Dynamos, you have played Blair Chiefs, then you come to play an expensively assembled Simbabora. You know, when you look at the fixtures, you say, we're playing Tell One, we're playing Cheko to Pirates. Looking at the name, these teams are the teams that are coming from Division 1. So Abafana Bet usually they tend to have a mentality so kusuka kwenza umdlalo wakhona ube nzima because ingqondo lana ukuthi asidlali game enzima. Sebezitshela ukuthi asisuke emagameni anzima lapha siyawina lapha siyawina. So at the end they tend to relax and then
overlook
the game difficult.
Okay.
I think one interesting thing against Cheko to Paris, there was this thing on social media. You know, interesting thing. Cheko to Paris, they also wear black and white.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. To them, I think we were biggest rival.
Yeah, with Matlana Islanders and everything. Yes.
Their sign also like. Similar to Highlanders, so I think it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting as well. But then also Sklandela ama league champions.
Ngezi Platinum.
And then this will be an away game. Last season, of course, fine. Sabadla, I mean, women away. Yeah. But then in the season. But I say what season now. I mean, Challenge Cup. You may never know what might happen this season. But then they didn't buy my players money, did they?
Yeah, coming to Ngezi Platinum, it's also on a side. They brought in, I think, all the three top goal scorers for last season.
Yeah.
They are there.
Okay.
Chirinda,
Yes,
Lemera.
Chirinda joining, yes.
Yeah. So we're saying Ngezi Platinum, you know, when you go and play Ngezi, also for result to come ngendlela esifuna ngayo, we go away, you look at the stadium esidlala kuthi. When you go to Ngezi, they always feel at home. It's just like any other team that comes to Barberfield Stadium, they feel at home because we've got a good stadium that is playable. So masisuka lapha sisiye Ngezi, also you get there, you find the ground yabo, it's a bit well maintained. It also suits our play. So we know ukuthi abafana bethu they'll be comfortable to play their style of play. Our style of play izaphuma kuhle kungala ukuthi i-ground isiphambanisile. And also looking at Ngezi, i-squad sabo. You know, when you bring
new players,
3 good players,
Yeah.
3 good strikers, you bring them ukuthi bezodlala bezocompete for maybe for one position. Kuyafunakala umuntu oyi-1 at a time. So we know ukuthi this team it will take time for them to also gel ukuthi bawubambe kahle umthini wabo ufuna ngucoach. Of course ngama-champions, but
and also considering that last season Sabacha UMantengwane, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think maybe we can have an edge over them. We'll say Sabadla last season UMantengwane.
plus like njengositsho ukuthi Ingezi you have always won there, so it's a good hunting ground for us. So
Yeah.
when you go there, we are going there, see high in spirits, see high in confidence.
Siyadlela ukuwina. And then silandela topola.
Chicken in.
Chicken kodwa nzima yazi.
Hayi.
Inkukhu futhi vele inkukhu yasidela kahle kahle phela inkukhu ngama draw. Para sa
0-0 home, then I think we are away, right? Was it like 2-0?
and that siqalisa si home thina lesiqala si home.
Yeah, coming to Chicken in, another derby, a tough game, but I think this time we have to turn the tide. We make sure that we beat them. For us to be champions, we need to beat those we are competing with. So Chicken
that's
is one
very
of the
true.
experienced teams competing. So we expect to do well, to get the results with Chicken in. Once we get the results Chicken in, we know which in the Tia Kanya is a
So any new signings in Zibuku Chicken in? I haven't heard of much about Chicken in.
No, Lama haven't heard
Except
much.
For 14-year-old.
Exactly 14-year-old, yes. Angangezwa anyone nami.
with Chicken in so far, you know, remember El Shama was here.
Oh yes, what join Chicken
El
in.
Shama has crossed over to Chicken in. There's also Danny Piri has crossed over to Chicken in.
Okay.
There's also Brendan Pofu, who was a Dynamos, the left back. He's
Okay.
also moved to Chicken
I
in.
also had Brighton. I don't know who was it. Wange, what's the name?
Brighton Makopa
Brighton Makopa
and
is
Brendan
also to
Rendo again, 2 from Wange.
So they picked
Yeah,
this
but
squad,
that's squad sabo, yes.
and the 14-year-old.
And the 14-year-old, of course. But what we're looking at Chicken in, you were saying, we also have Brighton. We've signed Brighton from them. So we know
Yes,
to Brighton, when you're playing against your former team,
You want
Yeah, you
you
always
want
want
to
to
prove
prove a
something
point,
and you always
exactly.
give it your best.
You
So
always want to prove a
we've got a
point.
secret weapon for them.
And then silandela college. What's interesting about Herentals this season?
I haven't heard much about Herentals, honestly, but I'm sure they've beefed up their squad behind closed doors. You know, I'm sure they've got players. I think they have a good under-19 squad. Where they usually
yes, that's
tap
true.
in for their talent there. So
Just
I'm
like
sure
with Boso 90,
exactly,
exactly, yes.
under-19 squad that is competing in the I think it's the
Tier 1 league.
Division 1 day. So I think they will really but that's stuck on up with good players there. So I think there's another team.
Yeah, looking at your rentals, it's a team that strives on getting more players from their development. They've got a good development, and this is giving them players. But we also know with your rentals, this season they've been quiet on the market, and also even we know their sponsor, their owner, their player, their number 9, Ubenza, has been quiet. So expect something different from him. They always shine out our good players. So it's a surprise package.
Yeah,
It's a surprise
that's always the
package.
Like I
case.
said, they do their things behind closed doors, but they usually have good players from their tier 1. So I think
Yeah, when I'm pull a surprise. Yes, and then the biggest match. I mean, I always enjoy my games at Cape United. I always enjoy them.
Cape United is my favorite game of
I
the
really, you know, they always give us very good run for our money. You know, especially the last season. Actually, Kokule cricket corner lapana.
Yeah, all the
The
cricket,
stadium was packed lapana. That game was beautiful. It was, and now we're starting home foot again.
again. So
Yes.
I think it's going to be an interesting game again.
Yes, I expected. I mean,
You know what we were having a conversation was last season saying, there's cricket, so
Kaklasha, yes, at the same time.
Low numbers turn out,
But
abantu bagcwala, guys. So
shame.
it was also an interesting game, guys.
Yeah, it was. I think very both games as Taza, except for the Chibuku Lapana.
Yeah.
That broke my heart, but
Or the cup.
yes.
And in Caps United, I think they've put their hands, guys, on the market. They've bought in Bruce Kangwa.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they've tried to beef up their squad. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at Caps United, I would say Yama games to the Caps United, very from yesterday. They've always been very exciting games. On both home and away, they've always had the best games against Caps United. And also, it is one match that you can come expecting to see goals. Because all the games,
true.
I don't remember any game that has been maybe a 0-0 or a 0-0 scoreline.
No.
This game has always produced more goals.
And to keep Strala is leader and Nasi winner. I've been coming from behind. I want exactly.
Let me count the incidents. 2 seasons back at National Sports
Initial
Stadium,
sports,
Caps United were leading 1-0, but
Yes.
ended up playing 1-1. Then we somewhere APF.
yes.
They lead the Caps United 1-0, but they tried to win 2-1. Last season again, same thing.
Same thing. They're always leading, but they're kind of winning. So I think if we maybe do the same thing, if we had done the same thing again with Dynamos, because Dynamos are basically trying to be leader. I mean, it's as we could have come from behind because the game was not becoming very tasty. It's just
Interesting,
yes.
And it was only 30-something minutes.
Yes.
And 90 minutes plus added time.
Yeah, because at times you need a little bit of patience. You can go down maybe 2-0, maybe in the first 10 minutes. But just trust in your players, trust in your team. They'll show some resilience and you always make a good comeback. Remember the Caps United game? We were losing 1-0 and we ended up winning the game 2-1. So expect the unexpected. Especially these big games. They are very open games. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. And then week number 10, we've got Arnold Movers.
So it's Sugar Boys, eh?
Nangas
The Sweet Boys.
Sweet Boys, Sugar Boys saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it will be a good, quite exciting game. Looking at Arena.
It's another debut.
It's another debut, but I would like to say, Uchi, as Highlanders, it's time we need to have that big brother mentality to say, not to give away points to our teams that will be coming in. Maybe we can call them Muti Mangani, but maybe Mangani was Hala, but we're saying it's high time Singapore a chance. In the city, so we need to make sure that we collect our points against them. We just give them a good run.
Okay, any new signings in go
I
Arena?
don't know. I'm not sure.
Arsenal have been doing their business quite silently, and I don't think they've had any big new signings, but I think there have been some of the big players who have been doing drama trials. They are players from other teams, but it's mostly like they've tried to keep their squad there last season.
Okay.
But then also have a player from I don't know.
Yes, reasons man.
Reasons Van Yes.
So we are saying if we can have their top goal scorer in our camp, so it means we're good to go against them, which means
It's also a secret report. You touched on that.
Yes. And then match week 11 angazi Ben City had break kumbe njani ngoba because asibona umbola angazi game platinum and this time around iphambili kathana ku season ngani. I mean
the platinum game.
Yes, beating Bongeni and Baka.
Yeah, we're meeting Bongeni and Baka. It's an advantage to us because they play in key positions. They play in key positions and they both play maybe defensively. So what are we saying? We're saying our players, they already know them.
Yes.
They already know how they play. They already know their weaknesses. So we expect to capitalize on those weaknesses. That is if they are fielded. But when we're playing against Platinum, it's a very big game. It's an exciting and open game with both teams. We know both teams, they play an exciting game, a passing game. So it will be an opening game. A matter of saying who gets his chance first and capitalizes is going to win. So it will be an emotional return for Umbola and
Baka.
Baka, yes.
So when you come and play against your former
Paymasters,
as a player, to give it everything.
Improve something.
You give her everything. There you are prone to make mistakes because you tend to
overdo things.
So it's a matter of saying the better team will win. and the better team will be us.
Yeah, I think ongcono futhi ukuthi siqalisa
That's so warm. I think last season Saqalisa home, and that was one of the interesting game, guys. Last season, AFC Platinum, yeah.
Actually. I think
it was our
this is
turning point.
iqalisa ama-game a-tense, but
Yeah,
it was very interesting.
And also it was one of the painful games because this is the first team that ended as our first defeat of the season.
Last season, yeah, at Mandava.
So it was painful. So I'm sure the players, they are still there. It's the same crop, so they would want to quickly erase that memory to build something on something new.
And then Kariba, I just think ama-game siwacishe.
Guys. Kariba is far, guys. I think they should open airport straight to Sambrizere, Kariba.
I got just made it into something.
Because ungacheka like recent matches, Highlanders and ZPC Kariba, it's always 0-0, 1-1.
It's always draws.
It draws why in Nyamuka Stadium. I don't know which will land, but I think that has to change.
It's because maybe it's because of the traveling and
fatigue,
the conditions and the fatigue when you get there. But we have a new coach, we have a new technical team, so expect the unexpected. I think we're going to make it. We'll get a good result there.
Okay. And then match with 13.
Manika Stones.
Yes. Manika Diamonds.
Manika Stones.
Angithi ihembe lithi sibathengile
Ukuda Mash, yeah.
Yeah, of course like we said ngo-billiard, but then Manika Vele has always been a good but squad very solid.
Very good squad.
About Manika Diamonds, and given which last season we were number 2.
Yeah, they did well last season, and wakangela phela first leg sabadla 1-0 at BF, then unfortunately sadliwa second leg. But I think it's a team to look out for. Njengo-Abre ekhulumile ukuthi akula team lana ukuthi yes so kule set on just 3 points. It's all about saying kulanda a game with a different mentality.
Yeah, remember the Manika Diamonds, remember last season that is the game we played. If you remember, a squad sasidlala Botswana and coach wethu had gone there to Botswana.
The second leg, right?
Peter had also gone there and they joined in late. So for the second leg, we were saying it's an exciting game. It's an open game. What you know is when you play some of these teams, Grammar team, when they come even to Babafield Stadium, they are not defensive, they play an open game, and Manika Diamonds is one of those teams that are game open. So when it's usually an open game, it makes the game exciting. It creates a lot of opportunities, which will work well for us if we are playing at home, because we'll be able to create more chances. And against Manika Diamonds, we've always fared very well, and it's another game we need to collect 3 points.
And then after that, I would need to fuel. That is a slang again, but I'm not so French.
So serious, man. So I was down.
Yes. I see. Speaking of Greenfield, I see Greenfield.
Yeah, Ebola Chiefs. Yeah. But I think Greenfield, the buying the new signings, Mate, goalkeeper from OI. And I think Greenfield, the team there, like angazi ithule, but they ama-results aphuma because ngakhaya last season sadraw la IBF, right? Sadraw la away. So I think i-game leyana futhi ezabe
the tension.
Greenfield
izabe le tension because last season when we went there at Greenfield, it's another team engathi it's just like Kariba, this distance is big.
Yeah, fatigue again.
So last season when you travel like that, and just imagine when you lead the whole game, you dominate maybe for 90 minutes, then maybe you are leading 1-0, then in injury time, maybe in 95th minute, you concede a penalty, and they equalized through a penalty. It was a very emotional game.
So that time, very 3 points as fun because I think Ngezi and Dynamos were losing.
It dropped some points.
Exactly.
We dropped some points that time. So I don't know if it's maybe Sawina Konapo we're going to close the gap to 3 or 5 points, but it was very emotional game there. So I think this time we have to approach the game Greenfield like fitness trainer could
approach with caution. Yes, that's true. And then I mean asazi ukuthi match day 15 versus Sesihlalalani because it's between 10x the Minerals. So I'm sure we're just waiting for
Confirmation.
i-verdict yakhona ukuthi i-team yagcina singenile ku-league yiphi. But then 10x i-team esiyaba khona
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Bigita
So
Minerals sekaba khona
Isaac Bekon is the first time.
First
it's
time.
first time. Okay.
But we're saying these teams they are assembling their squad using players, former PSA players from other teams.
Okay.
So despite ukuthi bazabe belama good players, bazabe belama players as a computer, but it is our wish, it is what we want to do, is to say to make sure that against these big these teams abasuka ku Division 1 who have been recently promoted, we maximize and collect as much points as we can.
Yeah, that's
And
very
also
true.
knowing that we'll be playing in the first game at BF, it gives us an edge to say let's push, let's fight, and these new teams, they will be there for the first time. So intimidation yankoni yabikhona bona, they are not used to it. Our players and everyone is used to that intimidation, is used to that support. So let's capitalize and work on that, and so that sibanqobe sibawisele phansi bengabi le chance
So it's
yokusukuma.
either it's 10x or Bigita Minerals.
Yes.
10x or Big Terminals.
Yafanana. Yafanana. And then Mrs. Pale Wange. Umade akasekho.
Ngasekho.
Yes, ithawula isekho laphana egedini akusela thawula. But anyways, I mean, iwange la igame ngikhona it always feels like a derby.
Yeah, it's true.
Ungakunenzelela, yes.
I think
It always feels like a
feels like angazi mbe history of Highlanders and
Wange.
Wange. Angazi during your time your playing time angazi
As a
ukuthi
player, yes.
as a player
No.
yenjani intention ena la.
Playing against Wange, it's more like a derby because most of the players they are from this side. Most of the players they've played, maybe they grew up kuma junior structures, they talk Bulawayo, so they move to, because of the competition here Bulawayo, those players they are forced to move to other areas, and one of those places is Wange. So playing Wange, it's like most of the teams that we play. Like I said, it's a cup final. The players
Yes.
from Wange, players were there. They played in our junior structures. They moved to Wange. Why did they move to Wange? It's because they struggled to break into the first team. So when they go there, they give it their best. And when they know they are playing,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
so when they know they are playing Islanders and they come back here, they will be fighting for their lives. They will be fighting so that they can be seen, so that they can come back home. So playing against Wange, it's a derby. It's a big game.
Yeah, it's always a big game. And speaking of which, it's the advantage because we also brought in a player from Iwan.
From Wange.
No fitness training committee is a secret report. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so advantage ngane silakho nje.
So
And then-
very history between Islanders and Wange has always been there since so.
It's a very big history. Yeah, it's a very big
I
game.
it always feels like a derby.
It's a very big
It
game.
always does. It always does. And then lastly, Mish day 17.
Yeah.
Anointing oil. Yes, I'm a Brazilian.
Akhona.
Kama billiard khonapho.
Yeah,
You know?
but they have come up yet, and
Yes.
that is Lama players.
Lama Brazilian, please.
Lama Brazilians, yes, of course. But let's not forget who we are, and Ama players is Lao. We've had Umbeba, he was marking Osimhen, the Lukman.
Yes.
So we have Upita, national team players, and we have other good players that want to break into the national team that are competing against Opita Labobani. They are competing. So when they bring in Ukama Piliat, our boys, of course they will respect him, but when it comes to a ground,
So
they will mark him guys on
So
sevens. They know what is at stake, and they don't look at names, but they look at what am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I've been coached to do? So come up with that, we've got our own players, we've got our own Bebas, we've got our own Prince, we've got our Prince. They want to do what Billiard has done. They want to do even much better, so they are aspiring to do that.
Well, speaking of which, I think I think since Iban has been lifted, I think players amaningi isizini eqalisa players amaningi ayefuna ukuziphova because now everyone wants to play national team.
National team,
Yes,
yeah,
and vele nje wonke umuntu usefaka i-effort yakhe because wonke umuntu ufuna ukubonwa. Yabona, I think kuzayenza isizini ethi labo ibe competitive.
Very exciting.
Exactly, ibe exciting futhi yabona.
Away from China, but I think since you touched Gucci, players they want to go international stage away
Yes.
from Islanders. I think maybe Dynamos and Ingezi that now playing in the CAF
Yes,
Champions League. So I think they also want about the players that want to prove something. So like Simba, for example, maybe joining Galas in Botswana and Sundown. So I think that I think
Nginganika that competitive edge nje yabona like edge I think it will be interesting this season.
We're in for a good season, Sibili, because you look, we've been inducted into FIFA back on the international calendar, so we just expect to see all these boys, they are playing to be counted. They want to go there, they want to go out. Tina, the advantage that we have is we've got a young squad, a squad of players that are maybe our average age. Kadesi Saviskailuti maybe is around 18 years. So we're saying now that we are back into the FIFA calendar, Slama tournaments are running. Tournaments from under 17, under 20. We've got maybe under 20 players at Amaning, like Abu Prince. We've got under 23 players again. So those players, they'll be fighting hard to make it into that squad. And also, we've got a new coach, we've got a new technical department. Even from the start, from the first game, even from our friendly matches, you look at how our players have been performing. They've been fighting hard to impress the coach so that they get into the first 11. So it's an exciting season because everyone is pushing, everyone wants to make a difference, everyone wants to catch the eye of the coaches, and at the same time also break into the national team.
Yes. But which is I think there's something different about the season. My fixtures it mostly. I mean, this is the last game before season. Yes, and then usually lay season day. Match day 18 is now Dynamos again. Which is okungafanileyo ukwenza ama-season lonke kade sikwenza la season ngiyajabule ngelesicinile ngayo but then no sikade siqasa nge-Dynamos sibuya sehla futhi so which means the last game of the season will be at home exactly but yada phela is hard to beat but then anyways you know second half of the season inzima because now ama-team selodlala njani yes abanye abafuni relegation yabona becomes very hard to win the championship.
I was just hoping when we play Yada, it will be our crowning moment. Let's hope services are good. So why is this pelekezela nje besiqakezela izandla.
Because abantu ebuhlungu njengalapha last season ingeke start icup eBF. And one thing that I knew ukuthi bana icup yethu. I told you abantu bayingena eBF ngama 8 ekuseni. And I was going to be paid. Imagine if that cup was ours. If it was coming home. Instead abantu bayakwazi stadium ngama 8 ekuseni and usacha u12 ikangasangene ke sokuphedi. But anyways, I mean
last season
it was the end of a ceremony literally
it's one season almost equal to it was painful. After a good start then we faltered in the end and then we also were made to champions for abantu bewina bezowina
ePF. It was painful.
It's one season almost equal.
And singayenza eqakezela abanye.
Let's just hope this year Yada will do the same.
Isiqakezela no that's very true.
Yeah.
Thank you Abraham, you are our fitness trainer for joining us on this episode. About this review on season and fixtures to look out for and this is the first episode and look out for amanye exciting episodes where kona UMantengwane podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much. Asiyabonga. What you can promise is maybe a better season, an exciting season. A season ebila ama results. A season ezakholisa, ezizasukuma, ezizayenjoya sonke. Siyabonga.
Two more singing,
yes.
Thank you.